Mary Campbell was nice enough to write that up for us too, but as you know, we're updating the master plan, and the rec plan is part of the master plan. It's not a separate standalone ordinance. Her suggestion was to incorporate it as a part of the master plan. So of course, that's all dictated by the state, how that process goes. It needs to go for, since it's an update, it needs to go for a 45-day review by the public. The board needs to approve that. And at the same time, the board also needs to assert its right to exercise final approval or rejection of the master plan, which the planning commission can do it, but it looks much better if you allow the board to. So the planning commission has done it, and they send it to the board, and the council, as the authority, also approves the plan. It just looks a lot better, but unbeknownst to me, I didn't even know it. The council doesn't have that right unless they take it. So that's part of this too. And I know it'll probably be asked, will it be on the website? Yes, Mary Campbell's getting the final plan. We should have it this week in digital. So we will have that out there. We'll have it on the website. We'll have a printed copy of it here. So we will get the word out as best we can. Maybe Linda's gonna put something in the paper for us. I can see her writing. So anyway, we're gonna get the word
When
out.
will it be available? Can you give me a date? Or are we just gonna say like in a week or so, or?
We were told early this
It's
week, but it
probably
all depends when
available
she sends it.
right now. I mean, it was done. All she had to do was
Get it on the
find a slide.
website?
If I could probably call you tomorrow with an actual date. We'll have it.
That's
but
up to
it's-
you, Ken. Get to me by the end of the week with a date would make me happy.
I will. I will call Mary
Okay,
tomorrow. So we're gonna, and like I said, she's sending us a digital copy, so it will be on the website. And we'll do everything for the review period for the 45 days, and it goes through the process. But we do need to pass this resolution and moving on.
Okay, we need a motion to pass resolution number 3, etc.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have support?
I'll support.
We have support. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have 2 other items here that were added earlier. Pass the hydraulic study. You and Sam?
Joe, or Sam, whoever wants.
Go ahead, Joe, you have it.
All right, basically, we got with Gordy Fraser, we've got to do a hydraulic study to finish out our compliance with the DEQ. They've put this back to us. Our main reason for actually really wanting to go with Gordy Fraser, they already have all of our system on a CAD drawing, which really helps us. Their cost initially here, or their quote for the hydraulic analysis itself is $1,600. And then they have an on-site fire flow testing conducted by their GFA staff and calibrate the hydraulic model. That's another $500. Pretty much what that is, they'll go around through town, they'll flow test every fire hydrant. And at that same time, when they stamp them, or they get theirs, Sam's gonna get a numbering system on the hydrants and all, so. So $2,100 does a very good finishing up our DEQ requirements.
Any questions? Need a motion.
I'd make that motion.
We have a motion, you need a support.
Support.
Support. All in, oops.
Lively?
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Cruising?
Yes.
Blinger?
Yes. Motion carried. Moving on. Committee email addresses.
Joe and I, we talked about it quite a bit, some other people. I think it'd be a great idea if we assigned, on our website, if we assigned each committee an email address. So if somebody has a comment, they can make it to that committee. So there'd be one assigned to each of the 6 committees. One to the planning commission, Scott, Sam, Pat, by department, so it's not personal, it's not to you, it's to whoever is the chair of the water committee or the law committee. But we thought, there was no way we were gonna do that without the council knowing it and feeling like we do, that it's a good idea. So the way you'd access that website is not gonna come to your personal email, it's through the village. You'd get on the village website and check it as you felt you should as a committee. You know, well, I feel it should be checked quite often. But And then you'll get on there and you'll log on to it. And I think it's a good idea on the website to give people somewhere to go with their questions. So,
In doing this, part of our thoughts on it is to actually help create interaction within the council also. Not splitting it up into each individual person as an email, but as a committee themselves. Any one person can go check any email. Obviously, we'll have some standards set for erasing emails and responding to emails or not, or however. But the point of that being is, say Leela's out of town and she doesn't use her email, or she just doesn't use email in general. Somebody else can actually get in there and check it, so any questions directed to her may get answered, obviously knowing that this is just another door and not the only door. But
I sent an email to the planning commission about maybe 10 days ago. Did that get through? Did anybody get that? Regarding, bylaws, when the meetings are, things like that. There was about half a
There is
dozen
no
questions.
address to the planning commission, right, Corey?
yes, there is.
It's on the website?
Actually, I sent two. This first one was an actual list of questions. The second one was a test. Is this working?
I can tell you that in my process sitting at the planning commission meeting the other night there, when I asked Rob Tyler, Rob said he has gotten no emails through it. Because I specifically asked, because I'd seen
Right.
another post there of
Right.
that, and then I also went back in and checked it, and I did not see
So
anything.
we'll find out why.
I got it written down. I'll check it.
So we weren't ignoring you. I guess we'll find out.
Right. Good.
So, and with that, I guess like Joe brought up, my suggestion is to, if we approve doing this, that we make a phone call to Brian Graham, because emails get weird in the Open Meetings Act, and I would just like his opinion on, I tried to read it, I mean, they address it in the retention schedule, and of course, you know how that goes, it's confusing, it depends on what the specific question pertained to, when you can delete that email. So I think we should send it to Brian, I think we should have something back from him which says, follow this. Because I don't see it being an issue, but I think you're better to be ahead of it. And we get the schedule, and so that may be a little additional expense to Brian, but honestly, I think it's, personally, I think it's something we should do. I think it's a step in the right direction. So I would ask for council approval to move forward with that. The email addresses are all set up, they could be ready tomorrow, correct? And then Corey will give us the login and the password.
Correct.
And we'll,
Do you want to add pending approval by Brian Graham?
That's what I was gonna
I-
say.
it will be approved, I mean, I'm just saying, I think we need to send it to Brian so we know the retention schedule. I mean, I don't think there's any reason Brian Graham would say don't do it, but he is gonna say, there's different links, you retain different emails depending on the specifics of the email. Like, I know, like if somebody says, what time's the planning commission meeting? If the answer is 7 o'clock, once you have the planning commission meeting at 7 o'clock, it's no longer a pertinent email and you can delete it. So it depends on that. I think lots of things, once the question has been asked and answered and it's no longer pertinent, it can be deleted. But I feel more comfortable with the schedule from Brian breaking it down.
So do you want to get the schedule from Brian before you pass it, or?
No, I would
Want to
just,
pass
I'd
it?
like to get them up and running and then I'll call Brian tomorrow.
Because we're not gonna delete any.
We're not gonna
emails,
delete
we'll
any,
just
I
send
mean,
it
it's
in
not
there.
like this thing, it's not like we're gonna get 100 questions on it tomorrow, you know, I mean, we're just, I'm comfortable with just putting them out there and call Brian, he'll answer the question.
So do you want to make a motion, or did you?
I'm just asking for approval, if the council thinks it's a good idea, it's just like a part of the website design, in my opinion, it's just move
You don't
forward
have,
with
you
it.
don't have to have a motion, you can just go ahead and agree to it.
That's all I'm asking for, is just everybody, if there's any discussion about it, everybody thinks it's a bad idea or doesn't want it, or
My
now's the
opinion,
time
I've
to
talked
speak
with
up.
Ken, I think it's a good idea, it opens another door. I think there's a lot of unknowns, I think there's also a lot of legal issues that we should really get nailed down before we get too far into it, but I think it is another good option.
Yeah,
Just
and
my
like this,
personal opinion.
we talk about this way, other people can look at, like, you could get on and look at anybody's department's questions, and that way, like, if Bill doesn't happen to look, you can call Bill and say, there's a question on it, it's a good way to bring somebody else's attention to it, so you don't have to feel like twice a day you have to get on there and look at the thing. You know, I think it's a good avenue to open up some type of communications with the public.
Does anyone have a problem with this? If not, I guess
And
go
we'll have
ahead.
Cory, and you will let us know, and then we'll get the passwords and stuff out to people, so they know. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think this should appear, Pat, in the minutes that this was discussed and there was no objection. Okay.
Not a motion.
So with that, we're at the last, second public comment period. Does anyone have comments?
I have something. I was at a meeting the other day for like ORVs, and it was held in Gaylord, and I kind of talked to about it a little bit. They're trying to pass a new website to connect the 22 counties from like below, clear above. And what it is like you'll go on that website, you pick Antrim County, you pick like Central Lake, what it has to offer, camping, hiking, canoeing, kayaking, backpacking, and stuff like that. And it's a website that they're trying to design, and they're gonna come eventually to each county. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Over in Alpena, Sheboygan, I wanna say Mount Morenzi, they already have it up, it's called 21D, I think it's called. And, you click on it, you click on Mount Morenzi, and it tells you what's all going on in that town. It'll help promote like 4th of July, carnivals, fairs, whatever else you gotta go on. So it's just a heads up that that's coming. They're based out of Traverse City right now. I have the one card that they gave me. I can give it to you guys so you can see it, so you can see what they're doing. And like I said, it'll help promote Central Lake and different things that we have here.
Thank you.
That sounds pretty good.
Great idea.
Anybody else?
On that lady's note, there's already a couple of websites out there that do that. How exact they are and precise in information, I couldn't tell you, but one of them is fishweb.com, which has been around for years. It started with fishing, and then they branched out to all manner of recreational projects. Click on Antrim County Central Lake, and they'll bring up where Thurston Park is, and where the launch on Eastport is.
That's
It's-
run by Dave
Yeah,
Bosch, I think it's like.
it could be, I don't know, I've lost
He's with
touch.
the ORV Association.
Yeah, and then there's another one out, it's a unique concept, but it's a neat concept, it's not unique is what I'm saying, so.
Anybody else? With that then, I need a motion to adjourn.
Before we adjourn, I'd just like to thank, Joel and Bill and Leela and Rod for staying on, and Melissa for showing interest in being involved in the council, and Jeff for his years on the council, so. And Larry, thank you for being on, so I'd just really like to say thanks. I think we accomplished a lot in the last year, and we'll move on. You can come once a month and visit us if you want, Larry. But no, thank you really very much.
Yes, it's
Thank
been
you
a
all.
pleasure working with you, Larry, thank you.
Okay, and with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, a second. We have support, all in favor?
Aye.